This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming your way. Here at the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona, and Frank, when so many people tune in to watch this great event, they think immediately of the 16th hole, with all of those fans jammed in. It's like Fenway Park inside the desert there, but it's much more than that little par 3, isn't it?
It certainly is more than that, Rich. The TPC Scottsdale is a great venue for a PGA Tour event. It's a blend of everything: birdie opportunities, holes that are fraught by water, bunkering that's been changed. All in all, it's a great atmosphere with nearly 500,000 people that visit this during the tournament week.
Teeing off here to start the round at TPC Scottsdale, first hole, 403-yard par 4. Frank, walk us through.
The length of the hole hasn't changed, but the addition of that one bunker down the left side that makes the player think is certainly the first new addition. Do you try and fly that bunker, or do you lay up? And it certainly changes the length of that second shot.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Frank, you like his chances to walk away with a par here?
Well, with a good shot, Rich, yeah, that's certainly on the cards in that. And you think you just write a par down at the end of the hole, don't tell anyone about it. It certainly won't affect the scorecard at the end of the day. So that's the goal right here.
And he's made it onto the green now. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, that's disappointing. You like to get out of the gates with a par.
Yeah, this is where a convenient memory would certainly help.
Trying to get out of here with just one dropped shot. This is for bogey. 2-1 over par early on in this round. Teed up here at the par 4 second. Frank, what do players need to look out for off the tee?
This hole has been lengthened in 2014, some 30-plus yards. Bunkering down the right has also changed, making this drive a little bit more important now. You can't just blaze away over the hill. Green also changed with the addition of 2 bunkers on the left side.
Excellent looking shot here. He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Now the game's #1 player, Rory McIlroy, ready with his approach. This is a good-looking shot. Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up.
It's at sneaky distance.
Rough start with that bogey on #1, but right back at it with a birdie. even up the card. Frank, what's the strategy here off the tee at the par 5 third?
For the long hitters, they still think that they can reach this par 5 and 2 comfortably with a good tee shot. For the shorter hitters, it really is a thought about where you lay up that second shot to try and leave a good third shot yardage in. Still a good tee shot, though. That hazard down the right side protects against someone who's a little too cavalier off the tee.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. And now the second shot here at this par 5.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. And setting up here in the rough. Frank, how good was that just to get it on the green?
Well, from that shot there, you would have thought for sure that there was no chance he had of finding the green. That was some shot.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the course.
Even par early on. Really nice mix of holes to start here at TPC Scottsdale. The 2 4s and then the par 5. Now our first par 3. Just a little over 180 yards, Frank.
Plays a little downhill, longer than what it once was. The green is radically different. Used to be deep, now it's wide. And the bunkering, of course, is visually totally different from what it used to be. Oh, and it gets a good kick. It's only in the first cut.
That's
not too bad.
Frank, I like the way he sort of starts his swing a little bit on the outside and then drops it right on plane. Ends up in the first cut, and he'll have a pretty good look at the hole location from here. Solid play, heart of the green. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Well, Frank, now at the 5th hole, the par 4, the challenge stiffens just a bit.
Yeah, the longest par 4, obviously in the start of this golf course, around the 470-yard mark. 2 bunkers down the right have been changed to 1, but it's in the perfect position now. Of course, that new tee added to add a little bit of length to this hole. The green still remains relatively similar to what it used to be.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
Frank, it seems to me that Rory McIlroy is perfectly suited for the TPC Scottsdale. He's a big star playing before the big crowds in a big stadium.
I think it's an advantage growing up in Ireland. He's always been a star in Northern Ireland growing up as a child, and then all of a sudden in Europe, and now the biggest stage of all in America for professional golf, and even worldwide. I mean, that's what Rory is. It was ushering in. He's followed the footsteps of Nicklaus and Woods, 2 of the most successful players in their early 20s in this professional era, and Rory certainly deserves to be alongside those 2.
This won't hurt him. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Ready to tee off now at the 6th. This is a dogleg left.
And another hole that's been stiffened by bunkers on both the left and the right side, really giving you the decision on what club to hit. Should you be bold or should you be smart?
Right out of the center of the bat.
Did you hear that?
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway. Frank, no reason here to think we're going to see anything other than another good shot.
Yeah, in a great flow, and golf like this looks easy.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now we'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
So third shot now for Rory McIlroy. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Steady, solid, and at 1 under par right now. On to the par 3 7th, 215 yards from that back tee box, Frank.
This hole hasn't really changed. Still has that V-shaped green where it's very narrow in the front. A high-flying shot in here that carries that front edge, and you'll find the further and further you go back there, the more receptive and that green starts to widen.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. That is an excellent play right there. The approach giving him another good look. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Has to like that one. Another birdie to get to 2 under par. This is a good hole, Frank, the par 4 8th.
Yet another dogleg left, Rich, on the front side. And it's a sharper dogleg now because they've put in 2 bunkers down the left side. It used to be a bailout area for the players in the past. You can't do that anymore. And I doubt anybody can fly it over that left one. It's nearly 330 yards to carry that in the air. Those 2 bunkers have forced the players to go out to the right, making that second shot a little bit longer now.
Good contact, good result. Frank, one of the great moments in tournament history here in Scottsdale, you go back to 1996, the sudden death playoff between Phil Mickelson and Justin Leonard. Mickelson has always been the hero out here because he went to Arizona State.
Yeah, and it still runs through his veins, Rich. There was such an important win for him because to do it in front of people that he considered his home crowd was huge. And then also to do it in a playoff where, obviously it's win or lose. So for Mickelson, 1996 and TPC Scottsdale, certainly ring home.
This won't hurt him, Frank.
Just a little left of the flag. That's fine.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. This from about 10 feet. And he makes it for par. Finishing out the front side now at the 9th. And Frank, what do you think of this par 4?
Nice way to finish the front 9, Rich. Very thin green, protected by that little splash bunker in the front. Iron players get a real advantage here One bunker down the right side to be aware of off the tee, though. I doubt anybody could carry that. Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Ready for a second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Settles in, looking to knock it in tight. Frank, I know you love boxing as I do. McIlroy has that big punch knockout ability. It has you on the edge of your seat because you know at any moment he might end the fight.
Yeah, there's always a spark there, or a little simmer, and you think it's just going to burst into flames at one stage and just ignite Rory over any stretch of holes.
Shouldn't be a problem here. With authority, count it as a par and 2 under. Setting up to start the back 9 here, and if it's anywhere near as good as the front 9, Frank, he'll be very happy with his score at the end of the day.
Yeah, the hardest thing right now is to just keep doing the same thing without focusing on the score.
Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
Well, we've seen this before today in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or 2. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Moving on to the 11th hole, Frank, water all along the left side, 472 yards. How do you handle this one?
Well, this one's weird because the tees are a little off-center. They start down the right side, which makes it into a dogleg. And you mentioned the water. It always comes into play. And there are 0 fairway bunkers. You don't need them here at 11 because really it's all about the tee shot. Find the fairway. Then even though it's a long par 4, you should be able to at least attack that green safely. Miss the fairway to the right, which is the barrel outside, and your problems are just starting.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. section off the center and headed to the right. Early part of this back nine and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie. This is a 16-footer. Hard putt, soft hands, beautiful roll. Well, Frank, this is kind of the forgotten par 3 on the back nine here at TPC Scottsdale. All of that attention on hole number 16. What do you think of the par 3 12?
This is by far tougher, Rich. Downhill tee shot, especially off that back tee. Bunkering down the left, sort of it catches your eye, but it also takes your eye off the water, which is behind and to the right of this green. Got to be careful. This is a real sleeper, this par 3.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Locked in on the read and the speed. Five birdies for the day. What a performance. Par 5 13, Frank, what kind of scoring opportunity is this?
Well, anytime you get on a par 5, obviously birdies and eagles come to mind. 13's been changed a little bit over the years. The split fairway's gone. Now it's just one fairway. Water in play, bunker on the left side. They certainly define this fairway. And they've toughened up the front and left side of this par 5 green. The longer hitter, the high ball hitter, still will get a reward at 13.
So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, here we go again. Another shot from the rough.
Yeah, let's see if he learned his lesson.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Starting to feel it. 2 in a row. 5 under for the tournament. Par 4 14th, Frank, it seems as though you'd be pretty happy with a par here.
You would, even though the putting surfaces here at TPC Scottsdale are excellent. It's going to take 2 good shots to reach this 14th hole. You can get in a little bit of trouble off the tee. That bunker on the left very much in play. The rough on the right side is no snack either, because the ball, more often than not, will finish well above the player's feet. And, of course, that green is very, very narrow, well protected by bunkers on the left.
Pretty good drive here.
Another straight one.
Always makes the hole easier, playing it from the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Wrong way pattern all day long. And this is just brutal. Frankie's managed to hit it in the rough yet again.
Yeah, this is hard to imagine. You know, the fairways aren't that narrow today. Remember, out of the rough, expect the ball to jump forward a little bit. Rich, that was some shot out of the rough. I really didn't think he could even get that on the green.
Well, just to get it on the green, as you say, I think is a big win. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So close.
And yet it still counts for another shot.
Just a couple of feet. Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just one shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. Now at the par 5 15th, and Frank, there is plenty to catch your eye. There's also quite a bit to catch your ear. You can hear the roars at the par 3 16th. So how do you focus on the task at hand?
Great question, Rich. You know, you realize you're about to enter the stadium part of the golf course. But this is the last par 5 that you're going to play. We've seen eagles here over the years. We've seen many a player hit it in the water off the tee or water short of the green. Certainly one of the tougher tee shots coming in. No bunkers here to worry about, just that huge lake to the left. Find the fairway. You might just find the green.
Now the second shot to the par 5. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That was not a very good read right there. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Trying to stay steady, make a par. Showing no signs of weakness. That's a good putt right there. Stays at 4 under. Well, partner, here we go. Players have characterized it as terrifying, chaotic, amazing. The stadium atmosphere here at this hole, the 16th of par 3, is really spectacular, isn't it, Frank?
It is. Because of the atmosphere, the number of people, this is the closest a golfer gets to like kicking a field goal in a Super Bowl. It's just surrounded by people. It's not really the difficulty of the hole. Just over 160 yards, a modest par 3. There's no water in trouble. But it's an atmosphere that golfers never normally are familiar with.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Not what he wanted, but he's headed to the beach. Frank, what happened there on the approach?
It was a poor decision. And let's see now. Got to think this one out a little bit better than that second shot to see if he can get it up and down. And that's where the men separate themselves from the boys. That was just a beautiful bunker shot.
That's skill right there. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Oh, I thought he had that. Well, that's disappointing. He misses the par putt, and he'll have this for bogey. -3 now for the round. 17th hole, Frank, and this one is really set up for maximum excitement.
Well, there's two things that you really think of. How do I play this hole, and how is it going to affect the rest of my round? This is the penultimate hole. If you make a mistake here, it'll carry over. It might cost you the tournament. But if you're a hero, it's going to carry forward to 18. This is why 17 is such a big swing hole. That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Good chance now after that approach shot for a birdie.
You're so precise coming in, and the measurement is 9 feet away.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Putting a good round together now at 4 under.
Rich, 18 was always considered a long finishing hole.
Not for J.B. Holmes.
Yeah, the water was always in play. And then the day he took it over the left side and carried everything and went on to win, that completely changed the way this golf course played ever since that day.
And it resulted in some of the changes we're seeing now.
Yeah, evidence, the new bunkering down the left side. But it showed us all how much and how strong these guys are, how much they've improved over the years. Ah, nice.
Looks good. He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Let's see what the dominant number one player can do. Rory McIlroy now on the approach shot.
Should be safely on deck.
Well, that's how you play the game. Right there. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. And with that, ends the round with 66. Frank, that was an impressive round out there today.
Couldn't agree more, Rich. We've seen some great shots out there, and I'm excited to see how the rest of this tournament plays out.